Hey, welcome to another radio video, and today we're going to explain a little something that a lot of newbies actually don't understand well. Shortwave radio station schedules. How does it work and how is it put together? So, shortwave is different from your local AM FM broadcast in a way because winter and summer makes a difference in the propagation of signals on the shortwave bands. Basically, with the longer winter days, summer days, sorry, the longer summer days, what happens is the ionosphere that lets shortwave signals bounce around the Earth actually lets you use higher frequencies and sometimes will degrade lower band frequencies. So there's a need to change the transmitting frequencies, especially if you're doing long distance like Europe to North America or Asia. So usually in the longer summer days, stations will tend to choose frequencies that are higher in frequency. And in the short winter days, stations will want to go lower in frequency. And the reason for that is that if they don't change frequencies, what happens is that you can have a part of the year where you don't listen to a station. For example, you can't hear it. A great example of that is Radio Kuwait, that never changes of its 15540 frequency. If you try to listen to Radio Kuwait between 1800 and 2100 hours UTC in English, in the summer, propagation is really good and you'll hear it probably all the way from 18 to 2100. But as fall arrives, the days get shorter, you notice that you'll start having less and less time that you can hear it. So if in July you hear it from 18 to 21, in September you might hear it from 18 to 20 or 1930 UTC because it's going to fade out. And basically in December or January, forget it, you don't even hear Radio Kuwait, not even for 5 minutes, unless propagation is exceptional with higher solar flux. So it gives you an idea that if you don't change frequency, there's a good chance that there's a part of the year where you just won't go to the target region. The schedules for both part of the years are called A and B. So for example, we now, as of March 31st, 2013, start the A13 season. So it's the A 2013 broadcast season, and it's going to go all the way through October. This is for the northern part of Earth, if you're north of the equator, the summer schedules. If you're below the equator, in Chile, Argentina, or Australia, you are starting the winter broadcast schedules. So depending on the region where you're transmitting, you'll have to change, either choose higher or lower frequencies. Where do you get the schedules? That's probably the main questions of a lot of people, and actually I've had a lot of little private messages of newbies saying, well, I enjoy your channel, I have one question: where do you get the schedules of all those radio stations? So that's probably what is asked the most often. So I'm gonna give you here 4 places I rarely go to anyone else. I believe that if you are looking for stations by time and for different languages, these are probably the 4 best websites for radio schedules on shortwave. The first one is the EIBI shortwave schedule site, and I'll just put it a little closer here so you can see the address: www.eibi.de.vu. This is one of the most extensive shortwave schedule lists you'll ever have. I believe it's not perfect because it's a really big list, so it's very complicated to keep up to date and keep it right. But I believe that if you have only one schedule to actually download, this is the best one, because this one has all the shortwave transmissions in all languages directed to any part of the world. Now, you just go to the website, and basically what you'll do is click on the sorted by time. Presently there's a text file. Usually they have it in three formats: text, PDF, and Word. So you choose whatever you want. I like the Word version better. But if I use my iPad, for example, I'll download the PDF, because the PDF is readable, easily readable on an iPad, and you can keep it in your iPad. But if it's just a computer, you can either click the text file. Text file has one advantage: it's probably the smallest size file. So if your internet connection is slow, you can download the text file. And on the upper right of the website, there's always the time of the last update. So it says that there's a update from today, 31 March 2013. You see it says 80%. Why? Because we are starting today the schedules. So he's telling us, I'm 80% of my list done, but there's still a part, 20% missing transmissions. So you should basically go to this website every few weeks. He updates the schedules pretty often. They rarely are updated more than a month. So you see this 31 March. If you look next week, there's probably going to be an April one. And if you look through April, May, June, July, you'll see that there's regular updates. Why? Because stations sometimes will change their mind and say, well, no, that frequency is no good, or it's interfering with another broadcast, and they'll actually change throughout the time. So go here every few weeks and check for schedules. I basically check at least once a week if there's an update on schedules on this website, and download always the latest version, so that you know that you have what's probably the closest to the real thing and the real frequencies. You've got two types of schedules. You've got sorted by time. So if I click on sorted by time, you see that it's by UTC time, starting at 0000 hours with all the broadcast. If you want to understand what all these little details mean here, you can download. There's a text file that explains all the abbreviations. That is something that you will learn with time. If I give you an example of an abbreviation here, one that's easy to say. For example, here you've got 030, 0 to 030 UTC. THA is for Thailand, and this is from the transmitter side. So when this website says Thailand, it means that you are listening from a Thailand transmitter. So if you ever see a station that says USA, but that's another type of broadcast, well, actually not, the transmitter is more here on the right side. Sorry, I just messed up. The first one here, let's start again. That's the ITU. That means the station from the original country. Okay? So, in the case of Radio Thailand, it says Thailand. You have the ITU station from Thailand, Radio Thailand. Then you've got your language in English. The E stands for English. The target is for Eastern North America. That's what ENA stands for. And then you've got your frequency, 15275. The little U there is a transmitter site. In this case, it's the Udorn transmitter site in Thailand. So there's a text list where you can find all that information on the website. slowly. You'll learn all the abbreviations here. The second website for English language transmissions, for example, is a great little website called Primetime Shortwave. PrimetimeShortwave.com is where you'll get the schedules in English. They are sorted by time, by country. Also, you can click a time, if you're in a zone, for example, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, North America, you have the shortwave schedules to the different zones. So that's an interesting part. If you live in Europe, for example, you can click shortwave schedules to Europe. In North America, you'll click shortwave schedules to America, and so on. But you also have the shortwave schedules time sort here, which is basically where you'll get your shortwave list. This list has only English language broadcasts. It's really the English language broadcast. So if you only speak English, this is a nice little list. Really just English, nothing else. And you have your schedules by time. So if you click, for example, the shortwave schedules here, this is what it looks like. And you start off at 100 hours UTC. And you've got the same types of abbreviation here with the different transmitter sites and the frequencies and the area. Keep in mind that on all schedules, even if it doesn't say North America, does not mean you should not try it, because broadcasts that are sent to Africa or Europe will often come through North America. They'll be weaker, but you'll still hear them. So it's always worth it to try, even if chances are low. Always try to listen to those stations. You'll be surprised what you can have. Sometimes you can hear. Third website is the ADDX. It's a German club, radio club. This one is interesting because it has, if you don't speak German, just go down to service, and the first one up here, R4 plane, I don't know how you pronounce that in German, sorry. Just click here, and then you'll have languages there. So Deutsch, which is German, English, French, Russian, Spanish, Turkish, or any language you wish. This is cool because you can, if you talk a specific language, I don't know, like Norwegian, you can click there and see is there any Norwegian broadcasts on shortwave. And so you just click the language. I speak English and French, so I like the English and French schedules. You might speak Spanish, maybe you want the Spanish one. So what you do, you just click the language and click to get the schedules. You'll always have the date on the top of the schedules. This site also updates pretty much its schedules every few weeks. So it's nice to actually go there and download all the schedules. Once again, same thing, by time and the country of the ITU, the station, what station it is, the frequencies and the transmitter sites right next. So all the letters next to the frequencies are always the transmitter site from where the transmission comes from. So here all you have to do is go to the www.addx.de website, and that's where you'll find these schedules. Great site also because the fact that you can have specific languages is pretty cool. So you speak Russian, you can click the Russian list and you'll have only Russian language broadcasts by time. So it's pretty cool. And last but not least is the public data files from the H Fcc. The H Fcc is the High Frequency Council. They basically receive all the schedules from the different stations and will actually put them on a list and also check for conflicts. Most shortwave broadcasters will actually give their frequencies to the H Fcc, which will make sure that everything's okay and there's no clash or collision between two stations on the same frequency. Unfortunately, a few stations are stubborn and just don't want to do that. An example is Radio Havana, Cuba, that just chooses their own frequencies and they just don't care of the H Fcc. And what happens is that very often Radio Havana Cuba will actually clash with some other station because they haven't checked anything. So it's unfortunate that some countries just don't want to use this list. So you can get this at the hfcc.org website and click on public data. And always at the bottom you'll have the latest list, which is right here, the A13, all transmissions. So it's the A13 operation schedule that you've got here. It tells you that it's not perfect yet because we're still brand new on the A13 season. So 4 great websites to get schedules. And like I said, if you have only one, go to the EIBI website. This is where you'll get the best complete list. But check the other ones. One that is noteworthy if you speak English is that the primetime shortwave schedule is updated very, very often. So it's probably one of the closest thing to what is actually the times and frequencies because their updates just so often. But most schedules are pretty good. I would say that all of these schedules are between 85 to 95% right on their transmission schedules. So hope this helps you understand how it works and where you can get all those precious shortwave schedules. Thanks for watching 73s.